Hi, I'm Ben Cook and I'm a final year student at Bangor University studying sports science with outdoor activities. This podcast is aimed at anybody, any climber, who would like to improve their climbing skills by using climbing games. Climbing games can be used as part of your session as a warm-up or as the whole session to improve your skills. Climbing games can be split into three main areas: generic climbing games, traversing climbing games, and movement skill climbing games. Later on I will take you through each of these three types of climbing games, explaining a small amount of games for each one. Climbing games are a fantastic way to learn new movements or practice old ones in a safe but challenging environment. This can be done either indoors on a wall such as this, or outdoors. Before starting your climbing session, it is a good idea to warm up. This is to increase your heart rate, to start the blood pumping around your body, to warm up your muscles. The main idea is to reduce injury during your climbing session. Generic games are a perfect way to warm yourself up. Some games you can do are Olympic relay, where you can get your group to practice games at the Olympics, such as swimming, using their arms, warming their arms up. They can do backstroke or front crawl. High jumps, you can get to jumping up and down, running on the spot like a 100 metres running race. Other games more inclined to climbing is a relay, but with climbing gear, so you can set out spots along with quick draws or belays, and they have to run out, pick up the gear and run back. It's good because it gets their heart rate going, but it also gets them used to some of the climbing equipment they will be using later. Once you've warmed your group up using generic games, now you can move on to getting them used to climbing on a wall. The best way to do this is using traversing games. Traversing games are a fantastic way to focus their attention on climbing and how to use handholds and footholds in a safe environment. It's also good because everybody can partake at the same time and there's nobody left out. A good game to start off with is to get your group to be traversing along the wall, but keep their feet on the floor. This allows them to get used to having their hands on different holds and feeling their way, but not actually putting too much strain on their forearms. So you can start with their feet further away and then progress them to have their toes touching the wall, and then the inside, so they're working along, using the inside and the outside along the climbing wall. When first getting your group to traverse along the wall, if you don't have a wall such as this, which is a slab, if it's more upright, or you're using the side of the climbing wall, your group might not necessarily be able to climb the whole way along. Here, you can give them islands of safety, where they've got bits to aim to along the traversing wall. So then gets the island of safety, they can have a 10 to 30 second break if they need it, then they get back on the wall and they go to the next island of safety. As they progress, you can take these islands of safety away and they can just traverse along the wall doing different types of games that I'll show you later. The funnel game is a good way to start your group thinking about their body position on the wall. So you create the funnel by using rope or tape along the wall, and you make it from fat to thin at one end. So they can start at either end, let's say the wide end, and they work their way down to the narrow end, thinking about where they have to put their hands and their feet as they run out of space towards the end. To make this harder, you can change the rope and put it into loops in different areas, so maybe they get a really narrow bit and then they get a bit of an easier section for a rest. You can do it as a round robin, so they start at one end, they work their way along and they come off, and then they get a rest as they're walking up to the other end of the crag. The last set of games is climbing movement skill games. These can be used either on the traversing as seen earlier, or on the climbing wall when roped up. Climbing movement skill games are a fantastic way of practicing or learning the fundamental skills of climbing. which are strength, endurance, route memory, planning, to name but a few. The plumb line game is the first of the movement skill games. This is when you have a piece of string or carabiner attached to your climber and it shows him his centre of mass. When he is climbing, he tries to get the string over his leg that he wants to put all his weight onto before moving his other leg, shown here. So he gets the carabiner over his leg before he moves his other leg. This allows the climber to learn their body position and their centre of mass, so when to use the correct balance when they're climbing. Climbing like an Egyptian is a good game to be done in pairs. While one person is climbing up the wall, the other person can be belaying. This gives them the chance to use observational learning to improve their climbing skills. This can be enhanced by using pairs of the same gender and same ability. When the person is climbing, keeping their hip into the wall will increase their efficiency and improve their climbing skill, which will be beneficial to them in all aspects of climbing. The last two games have a competitive edge. They are Add a Move and Climbing Wall Golf. Add a Move, you may well know. It's where you start on a predominantly easy hold and each person takes it in turns to add a move to create a problem. You can make Add a Move more inclusive and improve learning if you split people down into groups of the same gender and ability. Climbing Wall Golf has a start point and end point, and it's all about how many or how few holds you use in between those 2 points. Again, if you split the group down into gender and ability, you can improve learning. I hope I've given you a few top tips for when you're climbing and that you can use some of these games to improve your sessions. A last few points is adopt an external focus of attention when you're climbing. So think about the climbing hold and not your hand or your body position. This will improve your performance. Hydration and nutrition. Always remember to have a drink with you at all times to stay hydrated, preferably with water. And nutrition, always try and have an apple or a snack whilst climbing just to keep your levels nice and high. This will always maintain that you are in a fit and ready state for climbing. All I can say now is go away and have fun whilst climbing. Thank you.